Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. Today this is the fourth of 5 intro pack unboxings for Dragon's Maze, and this is the Rakdos Revelry deck. As always, the foil legendary creature in this particular set, and also in addition to that deck we have 2 boosters in here. So let's open this up. It's a black-red deck. And once again what we'll do is have a quick look at the how to play guide for the deck. Give us some idea what to look out for. Okay, so the Rakdos Revelry, as we're seeing with all of these decks from this set, we've got full complement of 4 guild gates. So there's Rakdos guild gates in here. There's 12 swamps, 10 mountains, and what it's saying in the description is many of these creatures that we're going to find in the deck have the Unleash mechanic. So that lets you trade a creature's ability to block for a permanent boost to its power and toughness. Looks like there's also a split card in here, Toil and Trouble. And these split cards have the Fuse mechanic, which was a feature in this Dragon's Maze set. So also it's got suggestions about how to alter the deck, and it's talking about Havoc Festival and Thundermaw Hellkite as possible suggestions. So let's have a look at the actual deck. As I've said, all of these decks feature a foil, and they are all the legendary creature in the deck. So our foil legendary creature is Exava Rakdos Bloodwitch, legendary creature, human cleric. 2 colourless black-red to cast for a 3/3. Has first strike and haste, and also unleash. So you may have this creature enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. It can't block as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it. Each other creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has haste. Let's have a look at the creatures. So we've got Grim Roustabout, has Unleash on it, and also Regenerate. It's a 1/1 for 1 and a black. Gutter Skulk, just a plain 2/2 for 1 and a black, and there's 3 of those. Riot Piker's got first strike, and it has to attack each turn if able, and there are 3 of those. Spike Jester, black and a red for a 3/1 with haste, 2 of those. Rakdos Drake, 2 and a black for a 1/2 flying and unleash on that one, and there's 2 of those. Gutter Snipe, 2/2 for a 2 and a red, but it also has an ability whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. 2 of those. Slum Reaper, also got an enter the battlefield ability on it. So when it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. And notice that's each player, so they include you. Smeltward Gatekeepers, so these are from the Gatekeepers cycle. They all have an ability based around the control of 2 or more gates. And in this case, you get to, if you control 2 or more gates with this in play when it enters the battlefield, Gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. And there are 2 of those. Blood-Frayed Giants. It's a 4/3 for 2 colourless, 2 reds, got Trample and Unleash. Carnage Gladiator. 2 black-red for a 4/2. Whenever a creature blocks, that creature's controller loses 1 life, and also regenerate on that. And there's 2 of those. Spawn of Rax Madai. 5/3. 3 black-red to cast. It's got Unleash on it. There's 2 of those. Minotaur Aggressor, first strike haste on a 6/2 for 6 and a red. 2 of those. Then we move on to our guild gates. So like I said, there's 4 of those. They fix for black or red. And then our swamps, again the artwork's from Return to Ravnica. And then our mountains. And in a moment we will have the non-creature support cards. Okay, Sinister Possession, which I think we've seen before in some of the other decks. So for 1 black you get to enchant a creature, and whenever enchanted creature attacks or blocks, its controller loses 2 life. Clue Stones, they obviously mana fix, they're 3 colourless to cast, and this one taps to add black or red to your mana pool, but also you can pay black and red, tap it, sacrifice it, and draw a card. So you can obviously get it to replace itself if the Clue Stone no longer becomes useful as for mana fixing. There's 2 of those. Or for the guilds, 2 and a red, monocolour creatures can't block this turn. Punish the enemy, deals 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to target creature for a cost of 4 and a red, so quite a high cost for that damage spell. Havoc Festival, 4 black-red, it's a rare, players can't gain life. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses half his or her life rounded up. Morgue Burst, 4 black-red, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Morgue Burst deals damage to target creature or player equal to the power of the card returned this way. And there are 2 of those. And finally we've got Toil and Trouble. So this is a fuse card, black and red, 2 black for Toil, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Trouble, 2 and a red, Trouble deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. And for 4 colourless black-red, which is the combined cost, you get to cast both sides if you want. So one thing to note actually, with any card that is based on the number of cards in a player's hand, it's always a good idea to look at the casting cost to give you some idea of the first opportunity you're going to be able to play this if you have it, and then work out from that what's the likelihood of a certain number of cards in a player's hand, and you can work out how good the card is based on that. So the higher the casting cost, the less cards your opponent's likely to have in their hand, because it's later in the game. So that's one good thing to remember when you're trying to work out any card that is based on the number of cards in that player's hand, how effective that may be in a game based on the casting cost. So what we're looking for now is anything in black and red or colourless that may be of use in this deck to tweak it. So let's open our first booster. So first up we see we've got a blue card, Mind Static, Mutant's Prey in green, Sunspy Gatekeepers. Not surprisingly, we have a Clue Stone in here, It's fairly high density of these. Golgari Cluestone, so this can be used to fix for black or green. Beetleform Mage is green-blue. Thrashing Moss Dog. So here we have red cards. Weapon Surge. 1 red. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. And it's got Overload. So with Overload, if you don't remember this, you can play the Overload cost and the wording of the spell changes. So instead of it saying here the word target, that is substituted with each. So each creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn, providing you pay the Overload cost in addition to the casting cost. Zertar Druid, red and green, very useful card, generates green mana, and also when you tap it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Unfortunately, no use in this particular deck. Leave Decree is in white. More of the Obsidiat. So we're moving on now to our uncommons. Woodlock Crawler in blue-black. Species Gorger, green-blue. Advent of the Worm is our rare. So 1 green-white, an instant, put a 5/5 green worm creature token with trample onto the battlefield. We also have Feral Animist in the deck, which is a foil. This one. It's in red-green. And the ever-present Guildgate, because they are swapped out with the normal basic land you get in a booster pack. And then a token. So in this deck, pretty, red and black cards. Let me just double check all of these to make sure I didn't miss anything. So we just have a Weapon Surge that we could use. Okay, next one. Has the Snare Squad in white. Another Cluestone, the Azorius one, which is white-blue. Armoured Wolf Rider, green-white. Hidden Strings, it's in blue. Ubasar Gatekeepers, so this is a black Gatekeeper. 3 and a black for 2/4. And on this one, this particular Gatekeeper has the ability that if you control 2 or more gates, target creature and opponent controls get -2/-2 until end of turn. We've also got a Ceruli Gatekeeper in this pack. So by contrast, if you control 2 or more gates, you gain 7 life. These are always 2/4s, by the way. Murmuring Phantasm. Right control. Punish the enemy, got in red, so 4 and a red. Instant, punish the enemy, deals 3 damage to target creature and 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to target creature, and we've got one of these in the deck already. Deputy of Quittles, white-blue. So we've started to move on to our uncommons now. Scab Clan Giant, 4 red-green. Bronzebeak Mower, 2 green-white. Goblin Test Pilot, blue and a red. So it's a very nice card. We can't use it in this deck, not unless we altered the mana base. This is Etherling, so this is 4 white-white. 4 blue-blue for a 4/5. It's our rare, but it's got loads of abilities here. So for a blue, we can exile Etherling, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So we can bounce it out, bounce it back in again. For blue, we can also make it unblockable. For one colourless, it gets +1 +- until end of +1 -1 until end of turn, and also we can use one colourless to give it -1 +1 until end of turn. Now, because of the way this is worded, of course we can stack these costs up, providing we had the mana if we were going to stick this in a deck to play it. A very nice card. Golgari Gilgate fixes for black-green, and we have a bird token. So in this particular booster, obviously we had that nice rare, but the two on-colour cards we could use if we wanted to would be Punish the Enemy, which we already have a copy of in the deck, so that we could increase the chances of getting that card, and the Gatekeeper. Okay, so there you have the black-red Rakdos Revelry deck. Okay, thanks for watching.